We're talking about rights and duties. And teenagers tend to ask questions about rules, about their rights. Sometimes they forget their duties, but their rights are always kept in mind. They know by heart. And once, come here, I was talking to this student, JP, João Pedro, JP, very nice student, brilliant student I had. And JP had this period of his life when he was hanging out with bad companies, with bad influence. And this is not good. We must be careful with who we hang out with. And JP was with this illusion of smoking. Hello, my friend. Let's study rights and duties, regulations, laws, guidelines. In this class, you will learn how to read and understand rules. How to read, understand, and see how you are part of the world. Our world nowadays is integrated, and the actions we do here affect there. The positive attitudes we have here influence there. And you imagine that the opposite is true. Let's start this class with the Charter of the United Nations. The United Nations, just to contextualize, the United Nations was created after the Second World War, 1945. First World War was 1914 until 1918. Then we have an interval of wars. And in 1939 until 1945, we have the Second World War. And then the countries get together to think how we can avoid new conflicts, because war is bad for everyone. But before we start, let's just activate our body, activate ourselves. Release your shoulders, please. Last night I didn't sleep well, so I am with tension here on my back, on my shoulders, on my neck. Let's release our bodies. Move your neck. Up and down. Up and down. To the left and to the right. Left, right, left, right, left, right. Open and close your hands, please. Open. Open the maximum you can and close the tightest you can. Open, close. Open, close. Open, close. Okay. Release your arms. Move your legs. Isolate distractions. If you can close the window, close the door. Let me leave my cell phone on airplane mode. Now I am 100% concentrated in your learning process. I have no interruptions. And now let's exercise. We're going to do this up and down. Up and down. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Come on. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay. Ooh, I'm feeling my shoulders. Release your body. Now, let's do this movement here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay. All right. Now let's breathe, my friend. Let me drink some water. One moment, please. Let's breathe in, we hold, and we breathe out. Let's go. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Twice more, please. All right. Okay. Let me read part of the Charter of the United Nations to you. Charter of the United Nations and Statute of the International Court of Justice. They start the document saying, we, the peoples, pay attention in details. We, the peoples of the United Nations, determined. Let me take a picture of this page and then you can follow the reading. We, the peoples of the United Nations, determined to save succeeding generations from the scourge of war, which twice in our lifetime, twice, First World War and Second World War, which twice in our lifetime has brought untold sorrow to mankind, and to reaffirm faith in fundamental human rights, in the dignity and worth of the human person, in the equal rights of men and women, and of nations, large and small, and to establish conditions under which justice and respect for the obligations arising from treaties and other sources of international law can be maintained, and to promote social progress and better standards of life in larger freedom. And for those ends, to practice tolerance and live together in peace with one another as good neighbors, and to unite our strength to maintain international peace and security, and to ensure by the acceptance of principles and the institution of methods that armed force shall not be used save in the common interest, and to employ international machinery for the promotion of the economic and social advancement of all peoples, have resolved to combine our efforts to accomplish these aims. Accordingly, our respective governments, through representatives assembled in the city of San Francisco, who have exhibited their full powers found to be in good and due form, have agreed to the present Charter of the United Nations and do hereby establish an international organization to be known as the United Nations. We could detail this text line by line to see specific details, and we can also understand generally that in this moment countries are getting together to find a way to stop war. I ask you, why is there conflict? what are the leaders or representatives or presidents looking for when they get into a war? Are you prepared? Of course you are. 3, 2, 1. Hello, my friend. Let's talk about rules, regulations, laws, rights, and duties. Today we're seeing some of United Nations initiatives. I read to you part of the Charter of the United Nations, and now I'm going to talk about the SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, written by the United Nations. The UN and the World Economic Forum invited me to collaborate with the SDGs. First, let me search here. SDGs UN, and then I'll read the definition of these Sustainable Development Goals. What are the Sustainable Development Goals? The Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, also known as the Global Goals, were adopted by the United Nations in 2015 as a universal call to action to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure that by 2030 all people enjoy peace and prosperity. The 17 SDGs are integrated. They recognize that action in one area will affect outcomes in others, and that development must balance social, economic, and environmental sustainability. Countries have committed to prioritize progress for those who are furthest behind. The SDGs are designed to end poverty, hunger, AIDS, and discrimination against women and girls. The creativity, know-how, technology, and financial resources from all of society is necessary to achieve the SDGs in every context. And the SDG number 1 is to end poverty. We have a class about every sustainable development goal. Watch the first one. 3, 2, 1. Goal number 1. End poverty in all its forms everywhere. You will see that end poverty has been a priority for states for a long time, and it's a really big challenge. It's not because of production, it's not because of quantity, no, it's because of distribution. Do you think there isn't enough food for people around the world? There is a lot of food, but there is a lot of waste in developed countries. Yes, if you want, you can have access to all these classes. Just scan this QR code here. And I ask you, how can we end poverty? Share your ideas here. 3, 2, 1. Hello, my friend. We're talking about rights and duties. rights and duties. We have our rights and we also have our duties. There is a nice song that just before I play the song to you, when we read regulations, when we read laws, sometimes we have the impression that those things are very distant from us, but they're not. If we are proactive to do our best, we improve the world. We are global citizens. If I am doing my best, and you are doing your best, and our friends are doing their best, the world is improved. Stephen Covey talks about the importance of being proactive. Watch part of this video, please. 3, 2, 1. Hello, my friend. I'm happy to see you here. Excellent. Excellent. Hoje nós começamos o primeiro hábito, hábito número 1 das pessoas altamente eficazes. O Stephen Covey, que escreveu esse livro, Os 7 Hábitos, ele dividiu em 2 partes, Private Victory e Public Victory. Falaremos do hábito 1, que está em Private Victory, a vitória pessoal. Be proactive. Seja proativo. E aí ele começa mostrando a diferença do modelo reativo, que é aquele que recebe estímulo e aí depois responde. Eu só vou agir quando alguém me perguntar, eu só vou fazer alguma coisa quando alguém me pedir, eu só vou responder quando alguém me perguntar. Esse é o modelo responsivo. E ele mostra o modelo proativo, que é aquele modelo que você tem freedom to choose, liberdade para escolher. É aquele modelo que você toma a iniciativa. Olha o que ele diz. Highly proactive people do not blame circumstances, conditions. Their behavior is a product of their own conscious choice based on values, rather than a product of their conditions based on feeling. Ele está dizendo que as pessoas proativas não agem de acordo com o clima, com o ambiente. Elas agem de acordo com os seus valores e elas tomam a iniciativa. E aí ele faz tem alguns mosquitos aqui, mas nós estamos tentando ser proativo, right? Aí ele diz a diferença do modelo reactive para o modelo proactive. Modelo reativo. There is nothing I can do. Não tem nada para fazer. Não tem nada que eu possa fazer. O modelo proativo, let's look the alternatives. Vamos ver as alternativas. They won't allow that. Eles não vão permitir. Esse é o modelo reativo. O modelo proativo, I can create an effective presentation. Eu posso criar uma apresentação eficaz. Modelo reativo, I can't. Modelo proativo, I choose. Um fala, eu não posso. O outro fala, eu escolho. Reactive, if only, somente se. E o proactive, I will. E aí eu quero te perguntar, todos nós temos os 2 modelos aqui dentro. Das vezes que você foi proativo, qual foi o resultado que você teve? Nós temos a tendência de lembrar das situações negativas. Pode ser que em algum momento, quando você foi proativo, o resultado não foi dos melhores. Mas eu quero que você comente aqui também momentos em que você foi proactive and it worked well. E deu certo. Comment here. What's your opinion? Next class, we go for habit 2. Yes. There is a song, a very nice country song, talking about good habits. Enjoy this song. 3, 2, 1.
Know there's a light that glows by the front door. Don't forget the keys under the mat. When childhood stars shine, always stay humble and kind. Go to church 'cause your mama says to. Visit grandpa every chance that you can. It won't be wasted time. Always stay humble and kind. Hold the door, say please, say thank you. Don't steal, don't cheat, and don't lie. I know you got a mountain to climb, but always stay humble and kind. When the dreams you're dreaming come to you, when the work you put in is realized, let yourself feel the pride, but always stay humble and kind.
Yes. Sing along, my friend. The more you speak, the more you develop your English. And my goal here is to see you speaking English, growing. When you were watching our classes, I feel that you have the right to receive a great class. You have the right to learn new things. And you also have the duties. To do what? Sorry, I'm in front of you. To pay attention. You have the duty to participate, to comment your examples. This is life, my friend. Life is always a two-way. Relationship. You deposit and you withdraw. Do you agree with me? Answer here, yes or no. 3, 2, 1. Hello, my friend. We're talking about rights and duties. And teenagers tend to ask questions about roles, about their rights. Sometimes they forget their duties, but their rights are always kept in mind. They know by heart. And once, come here, I was talking to this student, JP, João Pedro, JP. Very nice student, brilliant student I had. And JP had this period of his life when he was hanging out with bad companies, with bad influence. And this is not good. We must be careful with who we hang out with. And JP was with this illusion of smoking, and he asked me, he was going to Canada, and he asked me, Felipe, what are the laws in Canada about cannabis? And I said, JP, first thing, cannabis is shit. S-H-I-T, this word. Second, I'm not sure about the laws related to smoking weed in Canada. But one thing I know. When you are in Canada and you want to do something, think about your parents. If you can do this in front of mom and dad, and you don't feel embarrassed doing it, you can do it. Keep this in mind. If you are in doubt, think, would I do this in front of my parents? Would I do this in front of my parents without feeling embarrassed? If the answer is yes, go ahead, do it. I guarantee you're respecting the law. Do you agree? 3, 2, 1. Yes! We're finishing one more class. This means you were growing. I love to see you here. I love to see your progress. I always tell you, progress means happiness. Exactly. You were growing. You were seeing new perspectives. You were seeing things that you couldn't see before. Because now you were getting to a new level. And when you go up, you have more perspective. Your view reaches longer. In this class, we talked about regulations, and I focused on United Nations, which is the most important international organization in our world. And I would like to end this class reading the chapter 1 of the Charter of the United Nations. And this chapter talks about purposes and principles. Let me take a picture and then you can see the text while I read. Yeah, let me read Article 1 to you. Chapter 1, Purposes and Principles. Article 1. The purposes of the United Nations are 1. To maintain international peace and security, and to that end, to take effective collective measures for the prevention and removal of threats to the peace, and for the suppression of acts of aggression or other breaches of the peace, and to bring about by peaceful means and in conformity with the principles of justice and international law, adjustment or settlement of international disputes or situations which might lead to a breach of the peace. 2. To develop friendly relations among nations based on respect for the principle of equal rights and self-determination of peoples, and to take other appropriate measures to strengthen universal peace. 3. To achieve international cooperation in solving international problems of an economic, social, cultural, or humanitarian character, and in promoting and encouraging respect for human rights and for fundamental freedoms for all without distinction as to race, sex, language, or religion. And 4. To be a center for harmonizing the actions of nations in the attainment of these common ends. These are the purposes and principles of the United Nations. How do we summarize these 4 articles? These 4 articles? No, these 4 points. The article was number 1. How can we summarize these 4 points? The world needs to be peaceful. Nations need to find a way to live together. And you know how we can reach that? I tell you, we reach that starting with ourselves. We must be tolerant with different opinions. I must be respectful. I must know my limits. I must understand my rights and duties. We have rights and we have duties, and we have to follow them. Once I was at Georgetown University when I got this certificate here. And we were having this debate there about wearing a helmet when you were riding a motorcycle. In Brazil, this is law. It's an obligation. Everyone must wear a helmet while riding a motorcycle. In the United States, this is not obligation in all states. The states of the United States of America they have a lot of autonomy, and some states let their citizens ride their motorcycles the way they want, and some riders just don't wear a helmet. They just wear sunglasses and go. And we were having this debate. Hey, I was there more as a listener than as a speaker. What a great opportunity, what a great moment to learn new things. And these guys were defending the individual freedom. They were saying, hey, I have my individual freedom. If I want to ride my motorcycle without wearing a helmet, I accept the responsibility and the consequences of my attitude. If I fall down and die, okay, I was responsible for that. And then the group that was saying that helmet should be an obligation said, I understand your point of view. You have your individual freedom. But if you fall down and get severely hurt, you go to a hospital and you stay there for years. And I am the taxpayer who keeps you there because of your individual freedom. Man, when this guy said that, I was like, wow, I had never thought of it. Do you understand? We have our individual rights. We have. But we live in a society, we live in a community that is affected by our actions. Oh, tonight I want to relax. I just want to listen to my favorite songs. Great, excellent. As long as you don't disturb your neighbor. Because maybe your neighbor needs to go to bed early. Because your neighbor needs to work tomorrow. You see, the individual right can't access the collective interest. Now I ask you, what's your favorite rule in life? Talk to me. What are two rules that you don't agree with? Comment here. I want to see your opinion. Thank you very much. I am Felipe Dib. See you next class.